Hello everybody, welcome to Formula 1 2020 online. I'm Captain Shandy. I hope everybody is doing well. Good to have you here today on my channel. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. As you can see, we're going straight into a race at Suzuka. We missed qualifying, and so we will start from the back of the grid in an attempt to move forward. So I know I promised some people a change of livery. We forgot to do that. We will do it before the next set of videos, which I can guarantee, in fact, because I've already recorded them. But for now, let's concentrate on this race here at Suzuka as we try to improve our driver rating and we try to improve our safety rating. We get off the line. It's a slow start from Bootin. We have to take a little bit of avoiding action, but he ghosts anyway as we go into what is quite often a hectic first corner. So we just come off the throttle and just watch the chaos unfold in front of us. Unfortunately, Stichon had ghosted as we come through this technical part of the first sector up the hill, twisting left and right, and we've got Alvaro going very, very wide in front of us as we get on the power on the exit nicely, and he spins, and we just have to back out with the brakes. And again, somebody coming across the track who I think I would have probably got away with ghosting past, but obviously at the time I just saw a solid car parked sideways in front of me, so I slammed on the brakes, a little bit of a swerve, and we have managed to get through the first sector somewhat unscathed. Well, completely unscathed, really. We've made some positions up. We're up into P8, and we have no damage to the car, so it's good news all round for us. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work now just to try and catch Nicholas in front of us. Nicholas, I should say. Thank you, Jeff, very much for your compliments. You'll make me blush. But we're going to get on it now. We need to start, as you can see up in front, if you can look at the mini map down to the left hand side, they are fairly bunched up ahead of me, so if I can put in some fairly consistent, decent laps over the course of the next 2 or 3 laps, there's a good chance that I can catch these guys by the end of the race, especially if they start making mistakes and start fighting. There's not an awful lot happening at this specific moment, but there's plenty to drive for. So we just got a little bit wide there. However, we don't pick up any sort of warning, so that's a nice surprise. And you can see in front of us already, we have a Man United fan of some sort, Nathan MUFC, going a little bit wide. And then we have another yellow flag for Vlad versus 777, who's facing the wrong way towards the barrier. And we now find ourselves in P6. We pick up 2 easy positions there to go up another couple of positions, and we're now right on the back of Nicholas as well. He is within our sights, as is Archie White. So a good start over the first couple of laps, and obviously we will have the DRS on the next lap, so if we can just start to close that gap nearer and nearer to a second over the course of the rest of this lap and maybe the first half of the next lap, then maybe by this point on the track over the next lap we might be close enough to Nicholas or Archie or whoever it is that we find ourselves behind. So just a reminder, please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy watching me drive badly. Good example right there as we exceed the track limits and talking absolute rubbish. That's what I feel like I was born to do. So give me a like, give me a sub, and as mentioned in other videos, please head across to my other channel where we talk more about current affairs and whatnot with a comedic sort of satire take on the shit show that is the world around us. I've also got a video dedicated to our good friend Lewis Hamilton, which I will link in the description and also pop on the end screen for you to click on. I think if you are a fan of F1 and you sort of keep up to speed with what Lewis Hamilton says in the media and the way that he behaves, then I think you might find that video pretty interesting. As I say, that's over on my main channel. I will drop a link in the description. I will leave a tile at the end, both to the video and to the channel. Please drop me a like and subscribe on this channel and pop over there, catch what I've got to say on multiple subjects on my main channel. But back to the racing now. as you can see, whilst I've been waffling bollocks, we have really shrunk that gap to Nicholas. It's now, I don't know why I can't say this chap's name, it's pretty fucking easy. We're now only a second behind Nicholas, and that is still coming down, so we could be within a DRS zone. Well, we will be now because he's made a mistake there, and in fact we're going to be right up his chuff by the time we come out of the corner. We have to take a little bit of avoiding action, try and find some space on the left-hand side. Fortunately, he doesn't fight us too much. I don't think he had too much, but then he must have got on the overtake because, look at that. He got the DRS, is more to the point, which is a bit odd. He obviously got it off of Archie White, but I felt like I should have had it off of him, so I'm not quite sure why we didn't get that there, but now we just have to be patient and stay behind him as we look at a little gap up the inside as he leaves the door open a crack, but we just can't quite squeeze the car through, and it's all very helter-skelter here with Booty 1989 as well. Good fucking year, I must admit. But it looks like he's ghosted. I don't know if he's disconnected. Well, I don't think he's disconnected with the pace that he's got, so maybe it's just a bad connection. But for some reason Nicholas seems a little bit worried about driving into him. I don't know if, I would have thought surely he's ghosted for all of us. He's a back marker, in fact, that blue flag tells us. That's why he is ghosted. So Nicholas should just be able to drive straight through him, but for some reason he seems to be stuck behind him, and as a result we're stuck behind Nicholas as we almost go into the back end as he goes very slowly through the apex, but we get a much better exit. We're on the power. He squeezes us to the left, and he wasn't interested in leaving us any fucking racetrack there, was he? At all. So we're going to have another little look. We've still got the pace, we've still got the drive, we've got our nose in, we've got our nose ahead, and he turns in anyway like a prick and hits the side of our car. I mean, I had my nose in front, I had the line, I was there. You got to wait for me to turn in before you do. You just got to slow down there, fella. You don't just turn in. You can't drive through. How comes you can't drive through the geezer who's actually a ghost? For some reason you're scared of hitting him, but when I try and pass you, you think it's appropriate to just give us a cheeky dig in the fucking ribs. I mean, I'm not quite sure, Nicholas. I hope it's just mistakes. I don't mean to make you sound like a cunt. It's alright, not many people watch my videos anyway, so, you know, it's not like I'm embarrassing you in front of the world. But nevertheless, odd decisions going on there. As we can see, Archie White has disconnected. So it looks like we're going to get another free position. We're already in P5. And assuming that he doesn't get a decent connection back, he's still got decent pace actually, but not enough to keep us at bay for very long whatsoever. And as you can see now, we've built a gap to Nicholas, and we're already building a gap between ourselves and Archie. We're up to almost a second already after just one corner, and now we have roller 490, 7 seconds ahead of us. But let's be realistic, we only have half a lap left, so we're not going to catch him, but we will take 4th place for the first race of the day. I think minimal contact, apart from obviously a little bit coming through here. Not our fault, so hopefully that will help our driver safety rating. And coming up, as I don't know exactly how many positions it is that I've improved over the course of the race. It must be at least 10, I would have thought. So good points being scored there as well for the racecraft for coming through the field and getting ourselves 4th place after not qualifying for the Grand Prix itself. We do win driver of the day. Thoroughly deserved, I think, if you don't mind me saying so. And we'll just get some confirmation on exactly how we did with our ratings, and that we did indeed finish 4th in the race. And then we'll skip forward to the next race. As I say, please drop any comments that you have in the comments in regards to how I could improve my driving, how I could be a safer driver, how I can improve my rating as a whole, and how I can improve my personality. You know, if you think I'm a bit of a prick, tell me. So, where are we? See, oh, we've gone up to 33%, so we are gathering a bit of traction and moving forward. And as I say, confirmation there that we came from 14th place into 4th and gained 10 positions. And yeah, let's stay in the lobby and skip into the next race, shall we? which is in Hungary, actually, as it goes. So, we do get to obviously qualify this time. So let's see how we can do and try and avoid getting disqualified, which can be a problem around here as well. As we take the first corner fairly sensibly down into the left-hander, down into third gear. Just try not to get that wheel on the curb, because it will spin you around 180 degrees if you get on the power when you have a wheel on that curb. And now the fast left-hander, we slow down quite a lot. We could have cut the corner more than that. It's not particularly quick, but we do keep it nice and tidy. As we come up to the chicane, go down into second gear, just get one wheel on the high part of the curb, not too much. Ideally you don't get any, but again we're a little bit inconsistent. We drop down a gear too many there into third. We should really stay in fourth. You could hear the engine suffer for it slightly, although we do take the right hander fairly well and carry some speed down the straight into the 90 degree right hander into second gear, third, fourth, fifth, and now the long left hairpin. Again, just being careful not to get a wheel on that inside curb as we come into the final corner. Try and keep it fairly tight as we come through up into fourth gear, get on the DRS, fifth, sixth, seventh, and across the line. So whereabouts are we? As we can see, a disqualification or two, and is it second, is it sixth? It's sixth place, so that's not too bad considering that was a reasonably tidy lap, but nothing spectacular. Seems to be a decent standard in this lobby looking at the licenses. Few familiar faces in there from the last race as well. So Hungary is a track where it's difficult to overtake, it's difficult to find space, but that's what we're going to have to do. The good thing about the game, rather than real life, when you have a track like Hungary, is that when other people make mistakes, there is opportunities to go past people when they come off the track, or spin themselves, or if they're fighting too much. There's little gaps here and there, and there's obviously the one DRS straight as well, which can be, well, there's two DRS zones. One is a long straight, one is a shorter kink straight, both of which can be overtaking opportunities if you're close enough up behind the car in front. So just ticking down now to the start of the race as we wait for the last couple of people to connect, and they do, and the lights are filling up, and now we have 5 of them, and now they will go out, and we get a half decent start. We've got Magic Feet just in front of us to the left as he comes across Wajrana. Hope I pronounced that right. We're just trying to find some space through the middle of the carnage, and it's kicking off, and we just have to back out there, and we do, and those two hit each other, and we go into the back of Nathan Man United Football Club. And it's a bit weird being behind Man United, being a little, as we see that there's a bit of carnage going around, and he gets spun round, Nathan, by Army, I think that was, and yeah, just all a little bit of a mess there, really. It does mean that we've found our way up to 6th. We have to be careful if we get that wheel on the curb, not to go onto the accelerator as we do, because that will end in disaster. As we just take a little bit of the high curb on both curbs of the chicane there. We have some yellow flags out, and we got Booty going very, very wide in front of us. We're starting to close in the gap. I was about to say it's a bit weird to be behind Man United, being a Liverpool fan. It's a bit weird. And yeah, Jeff tells us that it's not great, but it's not terrible, as we're in the same position that we started on the grid, and we are getting closer and closer to Booty throughout this section as he continues to go wide. I'm not sure if he's got some damage, but he does seem to suffer from some oversteer as he just touches the barrier on the outside, and we've obviously got a better run. We're going to close in on him. We're not going to be close enough to make a move, but we are catching him as we come on to lap 2. Again, he goes wide out of the first chicane, and we get a better exit, and we've again gained a few tenths on him as we just get a little bit out of shape as we turn into the long left-hand hairpin, and for some reason just turn out of it slightly. I don't know if maybe just copying Booty in front of me as he went wide there as well, and we take a better fast left-hander this time, and now we are right up his chuff, and he goes wide as we go into the chicane. Are we going to have a look? No, we're just going to keep it tidy and stay in behind him for now. He is still struggling with understeer and hitting curbs, and just looks like he's really wrestling with that car, and he's holding us up. We could be going quicker than this, but he is a blockade in our way again, as we just have to dip out of the accelerator so much. Would have been flat there, as we have a little look up the inside and just make him think that maybe we're going to make an overtake. Let's see if we can force the mistake out of Booty, because there's not a lot of room, as I say, to actually make the overtake. There's not a lot of gaps to squeeze into. It's a narrow track, so that means that forcing a mistake out of the person in front of you is a half decent tactic, as Booty does the same thing again as he comes back on the track after giving a little kiss to the wall, as we have another look up the inside just to see if we can shake him out of position. We do, and we see a gap, and we were probably a bit foolish to go for that. We should have bailed back out. We do manage to get away with either no or minimal damage, however, as I can't see any particular difference in the shade of green on the heads-up display there. And getting a little bit frustrated now in behind Booty. Obviously, we're suffering a little bit from the dirty air that he's leaving, and also, more to the point, he is directly blocking us, particularly through this middle section where we've got pace, as we watch Roller going sideways and facing the wrong direction. So he's had a bit of a nightmare, but I can guess what he's done. He's got a wheel onto the, as we cut the corner there and exceed the track limits, he's got a wheel onto the curb and got on the accelerator and spun himself, basically, is what I reckon has happened there. No inquiry required, and we are right on the back of Booty 1989. As we look up the inside, we brake late. Is there a gap? No, he wasn't prepared to leave us any sort of space. He was just going to stick with the racing line. And again, we just fall slightly away from him. So he's defending very, very aggressively at the moment, Booty. It's not going to be easy to overtake him, and as you can see, we get a little track warning there for exceeding the limits, and we do get the DRS, but we just dropped off him. We're now around 8 tenths behind him, closing that back down, but that mistake trying to make the overtake did cost us some time, as we reel him in to around 2/3 of a second again. Now he goes wide, and we're a little bit late on the accelerator, so I was just a little bit worried about maybe driving into him there. And he still has that gap, but we go very quickly through the fast left-hander, and we keep it nice and tidy through the long right-hander as well. Just right tight on the inside without getting a wheel on a curb there. Couldn't have done that much better. Into the chicane, and again, that's a nice chicane as well. We're on the power nice and quickly. We're still just at 8 tenths behind Booty as he struggles through that right-hander. He often seems to. It seems to be the right-hand turns where he's slow, and now we can really close that gap. We're right up behind him. We're only a split second off him, and just give him a little bit of food for thought by poking our nose up the inside, but we were never really going to go for that move because we've learnt our lesson. He will just turn in on us, so fuck that. But as you can see, from being held up by Booty, we now have Rajrana on our case, and we follow Booty a little bit wide through there, but it's actually a pretty fast line, and we get on a DRS and we go to the right, and he comes across, so we go to the left. He's veering all over the track. He's really not interested in any type of racing etiquette. He bangs tyres with us again there, even though we gave him a lot of space, and as a result it means that Watting, well, I couldn't quite keep up there. Wajrana came across and tapped us and almost took us out of the race. We almost clipped his back wheel and took him out of the race. Now these two are ahead of me, scrapping, and actually this could be an opportunity for us because they could take each other out here. Particularly Booty seems rather erratic and very keen to defend his position no matter what the risk for that 4th place. So is Wajrana going to have a go like we did? Is he going to have any more luck? He gets up the inside as Booty is again wide through the right-hander, and they clash tyres, they bump tyres, and Booty took a little bit of a wobble. He's managed to keep himself on the track. We are hard on the accelerator. Can we get in on this right-hander? Can we go round the outside and roll it through maybe? No, we can't. We're just forced wide again by Booty, and it's going to be very difficult to overtake him now as we come through into the final turn, and he does go wide, and we will get on the power a little bit earlier, but a bit too early, a bit too keen to try and make something happen there, and we end up having to ease off, and by the time we cross the line we are half a second or so behind him. But that was a fun race. There was a lot going on there. That was tense, that was fast, that was furious. So Again, it'll be interesting to see how that has affected our driver rating, our driver safety rating, because there was some contact throughout that race, particularly with Booty. Difficult when you're going so much faster than someone, and clearly too much pace, and you're going to go overtake them and they just swerve all over the track in front of you. That is a tricky situation to deal with, to not end in a plane crash. So, you know, not the best racing etiquette, but then I haven't always had the best oh, for fuck's sake, I can't talk. I haven't always had the best racing etiquette either, but generally it's through mistakes, lack of talent, rather than being deliberately difficult and veering across the track. If someone's coming up behind me and they've clearly got a lot more pace, then I'll just let them go past. You know, if they're doing 10, 15 miles an hour more than me, just let them go past. But our driver rating still does go up, thankfully, up to 43%. So that's good. And we will go into one more race before I leave you be. That race will be in Austria, as you can see. And we have got some spots of rain. However, we are still on the fast, slick tyres, and we still have DRS available. So it is a little bit sketchy, as you can see there from the touch of oversteer, just having to correct around some of the corners when it comes to grip. The track seems to be in that state where it's cold and getting damp, but it's not quite ready for intermediates. There's no water sitting on it in any way, shape or form. So yeah, awkward conditions, but we still seem to have some fairly decent pace. Now, can we get round Austria without picking up a disqualification in qualifying? It's one of the oldest questions of all time. Captain Shandy and penalties round Austria. Name a more iconic duo. However, it looks like we have got round in one piece in the drizzling rain. And where will it have us on the grid? Very, very rare I've watched this come through and wondered where I am on the grid. Usually I know roughly where I am on the grid, and that is at the back from being disqualified. But it looks like we have got 6th place from that reasonably tidy, if not particularly inspiring lap. So sort of in the middle of the pack when it comes to the grid. 10 of us out there today. Bit of a mixed bag in terms of ability and safety rating. Still got a couple of familiar faces from the previous races, including our nemesis Booty. Let's hope we can keep him behind us in this race, so that he isn't getting in our way. It is obviously more easy to overtake round Austria. The track is wider and faster, with more straights and hairpins, etc., where you can go late into the braking zone. So let's see what we can do here, what we can achieve at Austria. As you can see, come race day, the weather is clear. The sun is shining. We don't have any rain to worry about. Everybody's on the quick tyres, obviously. And let's get ready to rumble. Everyone's connected. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5. Let's get ready to fucking drive. Let's go. Decent start. In behind Magic Feats. And we've got a man on our left. We've got a car on our right as well, as we just try and stay through the middle. Try and keep out of trouble. We've got a man coming back onto the track, and we just managed to avoid Sunset Beach Bar. I think that was coming onto the track. Cracking handle as well for that man or woman, as we get a little warning for exceeding the track limits. But we have managed to hold on to 5th place, which we gathered in the opening corner. And we have F1 to Frodo 13 in front, as well as Ian Codd. and it's looking like a reasonably tidy first lap. But we don't quite do too well there, and as a result, Sunset Beach Bar is putting some pressure on us. But it just gets a little bit held up for that corner, I presume, probably by myself, and actually just drops off my rear end a little bit. But it isn't long until he's back on it. Seems like a fairly quick driver, this guy behind me. As we go on to lap 2, we're just over half a second off Frodo, and we are seeing if we can bring that down. But as you can see, he's a bit quick. Sunset Beach Bar with his ease, off of the accelerator, let him in front, and as we do, he actually gets a little bit out of shape on the exit, but manages to keep hold of the car. So let's just try and stay on his back end, shall we? Because as I say, he looks like a fairly quick driver, so if we can stay with him, maybe he will cut his way through the field. We are still very much aware, of course, that we are trying to increase our driver safety rating up to around B before we get truly competitive. So we're still trying to stay out of people's way. We've done a half decent job of that so far in the video and have improved our safety rating. So we want to keep that momentum going, and if that means sacrificing a little bit of pace, that isn't the end of the world. Although truth be told, I would like to finish a minimum of 5th, because obviously then your driver rating goes up rather than down in terms of your ability on your license. And as Jeff informed us, we have DRS, and we get through that right-hander quite nicely and quickly enough, in fact, to activate the DRS, although I would imagine Sunset Beach Bar himself has it off of Frodo, as it gets a bit tight up ahead of me going into the hairpin. And we actually have someone, Magic Feet's up our inside, and we make some more contact. He's right on our back, and now he's looking to the right. He doesn't look like has he got the pace. No, he filters in behind. We just try and take a central position. He dives up the inside. We go wide intentionally looking for the switchback, although I'm not sure we've actually got the power down quick enough to make that work, and he is a little bit erratic, wiggling left and right, wobbling all over the track in front of us, and actually through the middle sector now has started to pull away. But we are still on the back of Magic Feet, despite the fact that we've just sort of been falling down the order, really. We've got some pacey drivers in here. We've got the DRS. Doesn't seem to be enough to close him up for now, but realistically it's up this hill where we're going to want to try and get the better of him going into the braking zone. And we do have a better run, and we go into rich mix. We go to the right. He squeezes us to the right of the track as well, but we do manage to keep enough of the car on the track itself, and we just get some oversteer on the exit after we'd got the job done, and that allows Magic Feet back ahead. So a little bit of toing and throwing here between myself and the red car in front as we come through the middle sector, just half a second behind Magic Feet, suffering a little bit from the dirty air, as you can see there, a little bit keen on the power maybe as well, but we do manage to get it sorted out. We do get a track limit exceeded warning as well, but a little bit harsh, but we did come off the track for a split second, and we are now just over half a second off Magic Feet. But the main thing is, it is within that 1 second DRS limit, as we get another warning for exceeding the track limits, and we go on to our final lap. As Jeff reminds us there, it's gone quite quickly so far. We get a good right-hander on the traction, nice and early, getting a warning for exceeding the track limits, but I don't really care because we have the better traction. We're in Rick's mix. We are using the ERS, but it's not going to be enough as Magic Feet veers across the track to defend, and we could nip up the inside here. Can we get him up the inside? Are we out in first gear, second, third? Yes, we seem to have got out quicker, and we've got the DRS on the way out. He's not letting us go though. He's still right on our rear end, putting the pressure on. We're in the middle of the track now, trying to give him the space where whichever side it is that he wants to go, and in the end he doesn't choose one. He just stays in behind us. Now we just need to make the car nice and wide and maintain decent pace and stay on the apexes here in the middle and final sectors in order to verify this 6th place. We have a yellow flag for the Sunset Beach Bar, and that will put us up into 5th. What a result that is, because that means that we will indeed do better on the driver ratings than we would have done otherwise. So a favour done from us there by Sunset Overdrive by spinning himself round or whatever happened, and we take 5th place after a decent scrap with Magic Feet. and Sunset Beach Bar not too happy with that, obviously, by leaving the session afterwards. But so I'll take that. We've gained a place from our grid position. And it's been a fairly successful day on the whole. We didn't make contact with too many people, so I imagine our driver rating would go up again. Sunset Beach Bar gets driver of the day despite his despite the arse falling out of his race at the end. So fair play to him nonetheless. He wasn't there to see it, I'm afraid. He rage quit. Not that I'm judging him, as you'll see in my next videos. Next video, I should say, which I'll probably bring out after the weekend. So look out for that on Monday, in all likelihood, unless something comes up. But that's it for today, people. Thank you very, very much for watching this video and the races that I've taken part in. And give us a like, give us a subscribe, head across to my other channel as mentioned to see some different material. But for now, guys, thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch my video. Take care, stay safe. I've been the Captain. Much love.